Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm truly delighted to be back in Vienna and the wonderful relationships we have between our two countries. We wouldn't be here if we didn't think that there were some opportunities for the private sectors of our countries to be able to exchange and take advantage of what we can offer each other. We do come 10 years later because Jordan is actually at a tipping point of national development. Obviously, you know more than most people that the recent regional turmoil has placed tremendous pressures on our region and specifically on Jordan for our resources and infrastructure. 20% of our country is Syrian refugees. Part of the challenges that we have, obviously, is we're considered a middle-income country, but with the burden of 20% of our country having Syrian refugees, 90% that are outside of the refugee camps. When we try to take loans, because only 35% this year, it was 26% last year, aid comes to cover that. 25% of our budget goes to supporting refugees. So you can imagine what a burden that is on our country. Part of the problem is obviously having 20% increase in such a short period of time. It's increased our electricity bill fivefold, and made a strain on our country. But it's allowed us, being a small nation, again with similar population levels as your country, to really adapt very quickly. We have created a 10-year new economic plan to be able to take care of this. We have completed an IMF program to correct the imbalances in our economy. We've generated a new private-public partnership and investment laws to be able to deal with the challenges that we have. And as a result, the reform has enabled us to relaunch our economy in 2014. And we're now the second highest growth in the MENA region of the oil-importing nations. Because of the challenges of energy, we started looking at diversifying our capabilities in energy, which was probably the biggest challenge. We're now in the process of putting together a 1,500 megawatt of solar and wind projects into our country. We are now the most advanced country moving into alternative energies. Aqaba, our national seaport, has LNG and LPG terminals that are operating, and we're the first government to introduce electric vehicles into our government. So as we complete this capability, all government officials will be running on electric vehicles. And we're actually working now with developing in Jordan. That's not where the money saving is. It's actually when it comes to buses, dump trucks, and other vehicles that have high capacity usages around cities. We are in contact, obviously, with some technology in the States and elsewhere, but it's actually being co-developed in Jordan. And the process for that actually then ends up being a model that we can use in Egypt and Morocco, other countries that are actually have difficulties with energy issues. So on alternative energy, it's not just solar panels that you put on houses or solar fields. It's actually how it invests down to the local citizen and how we do it across society. So there's tremendous opportunities in that region. We have trade agreements that I think most of you are aware of, and an open economy in the region that's offering a market access to over 1.5 billion consumers. What we do lack in natural resources, obviously, we make up in very high-tech, savvy, bilingual, and cost-effective human resources. Our economic and development zones allow full foreign ownership and offer unique incentives with no customs duties. Again, going back to Aqaba, our natural seaport, we have 9 specialized ports, and it has access to East Africa, but also we have access to the Gulf markets. And Aqaba is obviously an ideal logistics hub and the best gateway to tap for regional potential. Our capital city in Amman is one of the 10 best places to start a tech firm worldwide, and 75% of all Arabic internet content comes from Jordan. And again, that's the homegrown talent, because on digital content, This puts Jordan in a unique position compared to all other Arab countries. We were ranked first in the Arab world and fifth globally in medical tourism, and I know that there are some people here that represent that sector, with $1 billion of revenue per year. And our healthcare system is regarded as one of the best in the world. Because of the challenges that we have with young people and people finding jobs, the priority for us is the economy. The only way that works is having a much more healthy atmosphere for the private sector. The last thing I'd like to say is we have to face the reality that because of Syria and to an extent Iraq, the natural trade routes between Jordan and all the countries south of us, the Gulf countries, and to an extent part of East Africa, are going to have some challenges in transportation. And so some of you here, and this is what we've been doing with other countries in Europe, is to look at Jordan as a hub because of the capabilities that we have and some of the laws and regulations that we can offer and the incentives that we can offer, looking at production and assembly in Jordan to access to other markets in the Gulf countries and into East Africa. So I wanted some of you that are into manufacturing products to look at maybe Jordan being an ability to do either assembly or full production that then allow you the access to trade into the Gulf countries.